Welcome back, another title fight coming your way. This for the famous Lonsdale belt in the lightweight class. Someone's always got to go. It pits the slick, stylish Scotty Cardle against fellow unbeaten hope Craig Evans, an all-action Welsh southpaw. Things got a little heated in the week. Will the heat be on in the ring? Glenn's taking his seat alongside Ammon in Coventry. Let's get to the MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is a 12-round fight for the vacant British lightweight title. Let's make some noise for our fighters as they make their way to the ring. Joining us first in the red corner, Craig Evans.
Well, Glenn McCrory is now alongside me, and well, you're just getting your thoughts back after the last humdinger.
A terrific fight to start with, wasn't it? And here we've got something that might be even better. Craig Evans, young Welshman, who really has good things to aim for.
There's a real swagger about this 25-year-old. He was a top-notch amateur, undefeated as a pro, and he's been drawing on the recent success of his countryman Lee Selby. Look how confident he looks. Lot of a real buzz beginning down in the valleys. Again, he's talented, skilled, a southpaw. He has been nursed along. How will he handle the step up in class and on the big night? He looks as though he might be made for it, certainly in his body language.
And now to the blue corner, please welcome Scott Cardle.
The 18th ring walk for the likeable Lytham St Anne's lightweight, Scotty Cardle. He's made more eye-catching progress of late after a steady, almost uninspiring beginning to his professional career, but he's beginning now to deliver his punches, set his feet. He's harnessing more power, and he's looking like a decent all-round box fighter. The nursery slates, Glenn, are now done. Can he move on and capture major titles?
Yeah, he didn't really set the world alight when he first came on the scene. He didn't quite adapt from the amateurs into the pros, and he was moving about an awful lot. Now he's starting to settle on his legs a little bit, get a little more power up through the body, and now he's starting to get stoppages, and he looks good.
Joe Gallagher, Mick Williamson in his corner, familiar team, both the same age, just a little bit of a height and reach advantage to Evans, but that weight could be interesting. 9'7". He came in light, Evans, and people feel he may be a blown-up super featherweight. Been around a bit longer. Cardle's had the momentum, the bigger stages, very close on rounds there, and both can dig a bit. Maybe Cardle, certainly the last 6 months, has got more power. Fascinating fight this, it really is. And let's have a look at how the bookies see it. Well, that's strange. Cardle a 4-1 on favourite. Now that's a lot wider than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, for me, it's a close fight, a very good fight. They've obviously got confidence in Evans. They're pushing him early on. He's, you know, big, fantastic amateur career. So I think they feel he's ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Sport in association with Sky Sports Box Office. Sponsored by Alphabet, Lonsdale and StubHub. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge will be Mick Collier. Our 3 judges scoring this fight from ringside will be Howard Foster from Doncaster, Steve Gray from Fleetwood, and Dave Paris from Leeds. The third man in the ring is the referee hailing from Doncaster. Please welcome Michael Alexander. Introducing to first, the fighter in the red corner, wearing black and white, weighing 9 stone, 7 pounds, 7 ounces. He joins us with 14 wins, 3 of those coming by way of knockout and no defeats. Hailing from Blackwood, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Craig Evans. And introducing his opponent in the blue corner, wearing black trunks, he weighs 9 stone, 8 pounds, 9 ounces. His career record stands at 17 wins, no defeats with 5 KOs. Hailing from Lytham St. Anne's, please welcome the reigning English lightweight champion, Scotty Cardle.
Right, lads, you both know the rules, so let's just have a good clean fight, okay? Most of all, remember to defend yourselves at all times, okay? Touch gloves and keep it clean.
A long, hard stare because there's been needle, fire, antagonism, irritation, and to be honest, over-eagerness between this pair all week. Some simmering spice added to what is already an excellent matchup on paper. Both 25, both professional winners who have yet to taste defeat. Scotty Cardle, Craig Evans. It's an old-fashioned matchup, Glenn, in every sense.
Yeah, it certainly is. Evans out of the southpaw stance as he made the progression into the professionals. We'll soon find out. Started good with a sharp left hand there.
Hands down, springing out Evans. Cardle did get a right in very early on in the opener. There'll be bravado aplenty. Evans so cocksure of his style and his ability and how he feels that against the better opponents he will just look razor sharp. Bit of redness already by the nose of Scotty Cardle, who does cut, and Mick Williamson might have work to do in the corner.
Yeah, he does cut. He does sometimes keep his hands a little bit low as well, and he's got to be wary because he's pretty fast, Evans. Comes back with nice, sharp counters.
He's got hold of the middle of the ring, Cardle. He can blow hot and cold. Just trying to get his combinations off, and Evans, a box of tricks. Rather like stablemate Lee Selby. I think they make them like that down there a bit more these days.
They certainly do. Tough breed.
Very tough. Tony Borg in the corner. They trained so hard. Evans from Blackwood. And the area, the valleys that's brought us obviously fighters like Gavin Rees, Bradley Price, Joe Calzaghe. So many. Enzo Calzaghe's stable. And then in more recent times, Tony Borg. And good left hand from Evans there, and Cardle was wide open.
Yeah, he was doing the right thing, Cardle, and trying to be rough and take it to Evans, but then Evans landed with a very good shot, and that leaky defense might be a bit of a problem for Cardle.
Left hand back, working the body, Cardle. Might just feel he has the size, strength and power, but he's got to be clever too, because Evans was, well, a very good amateur who lost to Vasil Lomachenko in the last 16 of the Worlds in 2009. Shared a ring with a great man who looks like he could be some pro.
Well, they both landed good punches there, left from Evans and right from Cardle. Bit of showmanship in there, and this fight catching fire.
And Michael Alexander calming things down.
He might have his work cut out in there.
Yeah, the itchiness all week has boiled over, hasn't it, into the first round. How wound up are these two? Who will be able to keep their calm and composure?
Listen, you land well, but then you're standing there and admiring your work, and it's just a quick shot with that backhand. You're not moving your head. Get walk, get rhythm going, okay? Slip, slip. When you're up close, you're landing some lovely body shots. But what did I say in the change rooms? It's got to be the left hand round the right elbow, where touch him and whip it in round the side there, okay? You tickled him once with it, he didn't fancy it, okay? But he's leading with the backhand, which we wanted. But you're not moving your head to counter with a right hand or a right uppercut, okay? Don't be admiring your work, all right? He's got to shoot a lot with the left hand, and we can counter him with this, all right? That's true. Give it a swell. Bit of bottle up. Yeah? Good move.
Joe Gallagher was saying, don't admire your work. Evans, good clusters. Cardle had his moments in there. How did he score that one, Glenn?
I scored that for Cardle. I thought he threw more punches. The eye-catching punches were with Evans, but Cardle did a little bit more of the solider work.
I thought it was very tough to split them, as it has been all week. Needed security at times, and they just want to get down to business, protecting that zero-loss column, the pair of them. Even had a coin toss for which shorts they'd wear, which I believe Cardle won because he's in the black that we're familiar with. Like a white of Evans, the southpaw.
I think there's no love lost, Adam, because I think they both know this is a tough fight. They know it's going to be hard in there. Good work from Cardle. He's just getting more combinations on.
Headshots from the pair. A little readiness under the left eye of Evans. Good body shot from Cardle. Is he hardened enough, Evans? This is a big step up from the sort of the smaller halls and the softer opposition. Cardle has had one or two minor tests, you know, the likes of Paul Appleby.
He has, you know, he's been in with slightly better, he's had more fights, and he's been in with slightly better quality, and I think that could just stand him in a bit better stead. But, you know, he's got to do the work in there. Still getting caught with lovely shots like that from Evans.
Yep, beautiful moments there from Evans. He just wants Cardle to come in so he can counter the sweet science from the southpaw style. And Cardle also has wins over Maxie Hughes, Gary Fox, Kurt Goodings was a good one in a round. Last couple have gone inside one for Cardle. There's the extra power. But do you see this as a longer, more drawn-out affair?
I think it is. I think it could, you know, tactics will change. It'll be that sort of battle. Cardle still trying to do a little bit more, but Evans has got on the back foot a little bit, used a few of his boxing skills, and that's worked for him in this round.
Now tightens the guard, Evans. There is a cut, though, by the left eye, and he just dabs away at it. And the red corner alongside us are getting the swab and the adrenaline ready, because that he didn't need in the second round. Will that spur Cardle on? Cardle, who has the fragile skin, and it is Evans who's cut. Just out of range, though, Cardle.
Yeah, good defensive skills there from Evans. Fox well on the back foot in this round, Evans.
They're going to be tough rounds to score these. Welcome back. Really interesting fight developing for the vacant British lightweight title, and there is some popular lightweight. Kevin Mitchell, will he finally get it right against a very, very good three-weight world champion in Jorge Linares? Mitchell with it all to do, but he has fresh impetus in his career, and well, we all wish him well tonight, Kevin Mitchell. What a moment that would be for British boxing if the popular man can pull it off. Look at that Vaseline on Craig Evans, his left eye. I'm surprised that hasn't been asked to be cleaned off by Michael Alexander, but Scotty Cardle goes straight in. Will that spur him on, Cardle, seeing that?
Yeah, I think it will a little bit, but you know, it also could make him rush in a bit, and that's where Evans was catching him in the last round. He's dropping his left hand quite a lot there, Cardle. Got to be wary of that against somebody who's technically so good.
These two hoping to be in the mix with the likes of Mitchell and obviously Derry Matthews and others like Anthony Crolla, who is in Cardle's corner tonight. I like that. When fellow fighters and stablemates work the corners, we have Scott Quigg as well. And Anthony Crolla got his dream world title chance after that horrendous injury he suffered. And that's coming up in July. Another popular story.
Certainly is. And in this one, you can just see that Cardle has learned a little bit more, hasn't he? He's adapted to the professional game. You can tell by the way he's trying to rough Evans up in there. He's getting a few little warnings, which he'll have to be careful of, but he's doing the right thing. He's trying to impose himself on Evans.
Yeah, it's just that extra physical strength and the know-how that maybe he's picked up in the pros. His dad shouting encouragement at ringside Cardle, and all the tricks he's being told off by Michael Alexander. It's just as a 25-year-old who's on the big stage and he so wants to perform, he so wants to razzle-dazzle. The problem is, it's not a gym, it's not a spa, is it, Glenn? It's very different in here.
It certainly is, but you can't take away his exuberance, you know. That's what drives him in there. Here we have Cardle trying to be rough again in there. Now he's picking his man up and just showing his physical strength.
Well, that is what he has an advantage on, the strength, Scotty Cardle. But Michael Alexander, he wasn't a bad fighter himself, once beat Richard Williams, former Commonwealth champion, just to tidying things up, and that's right. I mean, we want to see the battle of skills and wits, don't we? And the technical ability of the pair of them.
We
and
do.
How the corners are going to...
We do, Adam, but there's always going to be temperament in there, isn't there? There's always going to be kids looking to show a bit of style. Good work from Cardle, right hands.
Big right hand from Cardle at the end of that little onslaught, and a body shot as well. And Evans trying to match him in that department, and that might be a mistake. I'd have thought Tony Borg would want him to use his mobility. He's out hustled there, Craig Evans.
Alright, getting involved in his game. Certainly in the range with you. Make him miss and push him back. Push him back with a spell of your shots, go. Right, that's a clean, nice clean shot like you're doing just now. How's it going? Okay.
What's the Vaseline on his right eye, Joe?
Yeah. Every time you have a lot of spells there, my hands, right? You've got to do it all the time, mate. You're having brilliant spells.
Well, they go to work on the cut left eye of Gavin Evans, the team of Tony Borg, Billy Reynolds, Rodney Reese. They're a close-knit unit and they're having their success, but they may be needed here, Glenn, to guide him through.
They do, yeah. Just keep his feet on the floor and keep him focused on the job in hand. That's important. Both landing good shots in that exchange.
Fourth round, 18th fight for Scotty Cardle from Lytham St Anne's, and Blackwood's Craig Evans in his 15th appearance. Remember, neither has been beaten as a pro. Both well schooled in the amateurs. They remember each other. Maybe Evans slightly better in the unpaid ranks, but Cardle possibly with more about him in the paid ranks. Could that be the difference here? Or is this the time for Craig Evans to really step up and show us what he's all about, talent-wise? Do you think the super featherweight up to lightweight and the strong lightweight difference will come into play here?
It could do. It certainly looks at this moment. You can see already who's physically the stronger man in Scotty Cardle, getting his own way in this round, taking the fight to Craig Evans.
They're looking for big rights and body shots as well, Cardle. Just a spring to his step as he comes forward, and he hammers away at the ribs of Evans, just trying to slow him down. Good tactics this from Cardle, smothering Evans right in front of us, Glenn.
Really is. That's good work from Scotty Cardle. You know, I'm really pleased the way he's turned into aggressor that well. You know, we're used to seeing him look to counter, look to pick shots and be the clever fighter. here he is, you know, he's changing style against a good boxer, and he's doing it so well.
Doubling up with the right hands, Cardle. Only 5 knockouts on the slate as Evans pops one back at him. But all that good sparring in the Gallagher camp will be bringing him on. He is setting himself, planting those feet more, Scotty Cardle. I think he was a little confused as to what style he should have in his early couple of years as a pro.
Very much so. You know, he didn't know whether he wanted to be a boxer or a fighter, and I think he was trying both in his fights and not really getting success at any. This way, you know, he knows what he's doing. He knows what the game plan is. He's setting down to do it, and so far he's doing it well.
Just out of range there with the jab, Evans. Flashy at times. Obviously knows his way around a ring, no problem. But he's got to deliver it. British title on the line. And he's away from home, Cardle, the nominal home fighter from the Matchroom promotional stable. He knows he's got to win this and win this big, Evans.
Well, I think they've got to tell him in the corner to do a little bit more. He's relying on counter punching, and he's not getting through. He's got to remember Cardle is pretty good at defense too.
Miles better round. Listen, don't make every shot a home run, all right? You got to do yourself on home shot. Sometimes just touch him with 1 and 2, make the 3rd shot the hard.
Well, a legend is in the building, and I'm not talking about Barry Hearn as much as we like him. Shane Warne alongside Eddie's dad. What an incredible cricketer, and wonderful to hear his comments on Sky. What a guy, isn't he, Shane?
He certainly is. Certainly is. Good to see he's a fight fan.
Yep, not seen him ringside before, and we welcome them all. I know Rory McIlroy wanted to be here, Andy Murray as well, and he's got a business to deal with in Paris this week. Ronnie O'Sullivan, I think, is coming down. Plenty of big names in other sports who love our sport, and it's great to see. Rooney and Gerrard, and many footballers too.
Yeah, you can't help being excited about a bill as good as this. Lots to look forward to.
Good right hand there from Evans. He turned Cardle well. Needs to do more of that, doesn't he? Utilise his feet, his hand speed. That's what Tony Borg will want to see.
Yeah, I think they'll want to see him starting to get off with combinations. He's looking for single shots too much, trying to make Cardle miss and then counter. He needs to put a little bit of his own work in and start leading with his own punches.
Dabbing with that jab, and Cardle more authoritative. And the right hand there. Game plan so interesting here. Both very good trainers in Joe Gallagher and Tony Borg. Borg underrated in many ways. Really thriving stable he's got down in Newport now.
Good to see Cardle getting off with the jab against the southpaw, really sharp.
Again, he's on Evans's case, Michael Alexander. At times not flowing, this one. Quite as much as the first fight of the night. How that flew, eh?
Yeah, but this is a cagey fight between two very talented young fighters, both unbeaten. There's a lot at stake in the careers here.
There's a lot of class as well, isn't there, with these two? That was low, and Evans felt it, and he does need a bit of time to recover. Cardle likes digging the body shots in, but that was below the border. Not purposefully, but just Probably trying to slow down Evans over the course of the first half of the fight.
He's done that, you know, he's been a little bit rough. You know, you get your warnings, but you've got to know, you know, you've got to know what to do, not to overdo it.
Cardle swinging away. Evans trying to come back at him with a left hand there.
And this is where Evans is not really coming under the pressure, is he?
Well, he's not had to deal with anyone quite like Cardle yet.
No, certainly not. That's the thing, it's a very big step in his career, isn't it?
He's managed to draw some blood from the nose of Scotty Cardle. So he is having his successes like that. That was better from Evans. Couple of shots, got out of the way, showboated. Good end to the round from the Welshman. Well, let's get back to Ed. He's got the magic man with him.
Well, Paulie, how are you reading the fight so far?
Well, it looks like
Scotty Cardle.
Cardle's a bit in Evans' head. You know, it seems like he came out with a more determined attitude as far as, I'm not going to lose tonight. Both these guys are undefeated, so talent-wise, you knew they were both up there, but it was going to come down to a lot of the psychological battle as well. And Cardle seemed to decide tonight that he wasn't going to lose, and he's been fighting with that mentality the whole time. To me, he comes off a little bit hungrier. He creates the action. He's more tenacious in there. Evans is slick, and he makes a miss, but he's not able to find his distance to start countering. I also think Cardle's in Evans' mind, because Evans is starting to look for one shot at a time, as opposed to, you know, he's not the big puncher. He's got to throw the setup punches, set traps, throw combinations. Instead, he's looking for one big shot. He's loading up too much, and that's not his fight. He's going to play into Cardle's hands that way more and more.
Thank you, Paulie.
Yeah, very interesting thoughts from Paulie there. Much along how you're seeing this, Glenn, that Cardle's just, you know, superior using his aggressiveness. And there are moments that Craig Evans is having, but he's not sustaining them.
No, he's certainly, Evans got to do a lot more. He's got to start to throw some combinations. It's Cardle that's leading the fight. It's Cardle that's looking the hungrier of the two. He wants it. There's a lot at stake. This is the first step on the ladder. The British title means a lot. And, you know, he'll want to progress in what is a great domestic division.
Had a good end to the fifth, Evans, but you know, you don't win a whole round like that. Can he keep it going? Or is he trying to pickpocket his way through to a certain time in the fight and then let it all out? We don't know who's fitter. I should imagine both are in excellent condition, knowing their stables. Good shot from Evans, but it's single work.
That's exactly right, Adam. Now he's starting to pick it up a little. One single shot, and then he admired it and then backed off instead of quick combination.
I mean, there's an argument to say that Evans is the more superior fighter, that technically he has the edge. But Cardle, more effective. And you would have thought in a lead on the judges' scorecards. Howard Foster, Steve Gray just in front of us, and Dave Paris. They're busy watching, trying to assess which punches land, which don't, and Michael Alexander is busy trying to keep them, well, rather cool and let the boxing do the talking as opposed to any wrestling or nastiness.
Well, he's just standing off a little bit too much now, Cardle, and Evans having his best little spell in the fight where he's boxing really nicely behind the jab. He's got that bit of room that he wants, as well as having the center of the ring, and this is good from Evans.
He's got the room, Glenn. He's also getting into a rhythm, and I don't think Cardle or Joe Gallagher will want to see that, because that could be problematic for the Lytham St Anne's lightweight. This is better from Evans. Good end to the last round, and he's winning this one.
Yeah, it looks as if Cardle just took moves a little bit of respite. I don't know why
he's not. Though, Glenn, sorry to interrupt. I think it's a bad cut on the right eye, so damage either side for Evans, who tries to throw a right hand, but this is the physical side of Scotty Cardle, the rough and tough nature of the business. How can Evans keep himself together? Because he's done his best work here.
He certainly has. Shame he got the cut there, clash of heads. It looked, but that's a good round for Craig Evans. Finished that in a confident mode.
Big breaths. All right.
Listen,
All right.
the other eye's okay, let's sort that
That's
out.
easy.
We'll sort that, don't worry.
Easy,
right?
mate.
Listen, swallow water and I'll spit it out.
There's the clash of heads. Unlucky for Evans, who was doing so well in that round. He had the middle of the ring, controlling the fight behind the jab, not giving way to Cardle. And Cardle just seemed to slow down, seemed to lose the momentum there.
You can force it now. He's tiring. It's the off round.
Hey, you've boxed with cigarettes here, you need to carry on.
The last one's got to build on that. When you make it a bit, come back in. Let that backhand go. Right, you're going to hurt him. Catch him.
Stay there, stay there, stay there.
Put him on his ass. You told me he was going to do it, didn't you? Right, let's do it then.
Both trainers working so hard, and the success ratio on the statistics is level. I've got Cardle in front, but not by a great deal. As we enter the second half of the fight, how do you see it, Glenn?
Yeah, I've got Cardle in front just by a couple of rounds. I think that scorecard was a bit confusing.
Not by 11.
Totally wrong.
There'll be some knockdowns in that already.
Yeah, somebody's messed up there. But no, a lot closer than that.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, that's more like just two ahead for Cardle, who started the fight the better, throw more combinations. But Evans just getting back into it in that last round.
Yeah, quality fighters, the pair of them, who have 17 wins for Cardle, 14 for Evans, and no defeats. Will someone's O go here? Or will the judges not be able to split them by the end? Craig Evans certainly has got to put a little bit more in to 3 minutes of every round. And Cardle just doesn't want to let his decent start just become scrappy as he misses there.
Yeah, he's just dropped off, hasn't he, the pace, Scotty Cardle. Just following his man around, giving him too much time, too much room, and Evans getting through with shots.
He's playing into Evans's hands a bit here, Scotty Cardle. Evans, who he went 10 with Ronnie Clark and 8 with Yachet Vielsoul, but hasn't really fought anybody of major note on the record yet. So it is a serious step up this, and he certainly looks as though he's going to be an interesting addition to this British lightweight scene. Can he win the Lonsdale bout? That's better from Cardle with a combination. He just smiles there because his punches have more of an effect.
Yeah, he needed to do something there, though. He's again letting the round slip away from him a little bit as the blood starts to trickle down the face of Evans.
Yeah, it's trickling away from the eye, but it is quite a nasty bleed, that, for Evans. It was about keeping his head, keeping the tactical plan after all the nonsense this week at the head-to-head and the weigh-in, and they had to be kept apart. Good right hand from Cardle. He picked that beautifully. That was one of the best punches of the entire fight so far.
Evans really grabbed hold there, didn't he? Felt that one, rocked him back on his heels.
It's not always pretty from Scotty Cardle, but it's pretty effective. And I just wonder if tapping away at Evans and the weight and the body shots that he'll probably come into later on down the stretch will be the answer for Cardle.
Slap that round now, right? Get yourself up, get on your boxing again. Get them hands working, right? Promise that you do it. You got that?
Well, Lee Selby is in the building. His team are all here alongside us, but he doesn't mind that one little bit. What a professional he's been. He's done it the hard way, the old-fashioned way, from the small hall to the big stage. And he could just pull it off tonight against the teak-tough, volume-punching champion Evgeny Gradovic. That's a mouth-watering fight to come. I wonder what he'd be thinking of Craig Evans's performance here, because he's in danger, Evans, despite having his moments of letting it slip.
Well, we'll be hoping Selby doesn't fight like this. We want to see him land a lot more punches. Not like his fellow Welshman, who's just not quite doing enough.
Yeah, when he bounced into the ring, his hands held high, it was as though he was almost just turning up to put on an exhibition, and that he thought he'd glide his way to a British title. But it goes to show you there's a lot more than just talent. There's the dedication, there's the strength, there's the different professional styles that you've got to come accustomed to and deal with. And all round, Cardle maybe has had a better education.
He has had a better education, I'm sure of that, but I think, you know, he surprised me a little bit. I'm very impressed with Scotty Cardle. He might be the sort of fighter that is better, the better quality of opposition, because this is bringing the best out in him. You're seeing different things from Scotty Cardle.
Doubling up the jab there, Evans. Keep it working, shouts Tony Borg. He knows the volume of punches is needed from his man. He can't nick this, not with the work rate of Scotty Cardle.
Don't stay back. Arm down, get him arm down.
He's getting his feet in the right position as well, Cardle, getting the angles right, attacking and defense.
But then Evans spins off like that and does something which catches the eye of the judges.
Yeah, well, Evans is very, very talented. We saw that in his amateur career. A lot's expected of him. But I think maybe, you know, this fight might just be a little too early for him.
Just standing off, posturing a bit too much, Craig Evans, who was meant to meet Liam Walsh for the British and Commonwealth super featherweight title in February. Walsh fought Joe Murray instead, and I wonder if that 9 stone 4 weight limit might be better suited for Evans. This is a tough division, 9 stone 9, and physically demanding too. See, he gets a left and a right in there. Better work from Evans, but it doesn't affect Cardle.
Well, I think he maybe felt it a little bit there, Cardle. Dropping his hands, and that was very good there from Evans, just showing
there's damage.
The quality.
There's damage now for Cardle. And there's a cut with the left eye, and he just showed some inexperience there, looking at the referee, not protecting himself at all times. And Evans coming in there with a combination. Much better this from Craig Evans, who got through with a few shots. And you wondered whether Cardle's chin was fine. Looks to be, legs look strong, but Evans having a good spell.
Well, it was all going well. Was that a little lack of concentration there for Scotty Cardle, because he was quick to pounce Evans and get through with a good few shots?
I think he was trying to say it was the elbow, you know, that got involved, but you know, Cardle's been roughing him up as well. It's a bit tit for tat.
Yeah, you certainly can't complain. Clash of heads caused the cut for Evans. Now it's Cardle with the damage.
And Mick Williamson, who Ricky Hatton called God, goes into the corner, and he is called upon for the first time tonight. The others have worked on Gavin Evans, his eyes, Craig Evans, his eyes, and now Cardle with the damage. And this was better from Craig Evans. Lovely shots.
Yeah, and there the inexperience of Cardle just going back to the ropes. Look where his hands are. That's the problem when you have that low held guard. You know, you can't get your hands up when you do get hit. And then the elbow coming into play, but he was ducking down very low.
The elbow may have caused the cut to the eye, but no doubting that Craig Evans had a good round, and he can build on that. Well, it's becoming really interesting, this. It hasn't been the crackling, brutal fight that we saw between Dave Rocky Ryan and John Wayne Hibbert. Very different, this. But plenty of skills on display, trying to outwit each other, and Evans is finding his best patch of the fight. No doubt about that, Glenn.
Yeah, but this is a fight, it's very different than the last, but this is a fight you can't take your eyes off, because, you know, anything can happen in an instant, because they're both very quick, both talented, and you don't know what's going to come. And now it's Evans who's taking the fight to Cardle a bit.
Good body shot from Cardle, needed it, but it's an intriguing one, and the damage to the eye of Cardle could be worse than those cuts to Evans. Certainly, he's got the confidence that he showed when he got into the ring at the beginning. Evans, huge amount of self-belief. Didn't seem to do a lot for some of the rounds, although these sessions have been difficult to score.
Yeah, they have their nice little counter from Cardle being applauded by Joe Gallagher in his corner. It's a good shot, but he needs more, Cardle.
He's falling out of range there, Scotty Cardle. Just looks more organised all of a sudden, Evans. More purposeful.
And also what's obvious is he's got the centre of the ring, Adam. It's Cardle now who's circling around the outside. He's in the power position now, Evans.
They're just boxing off the jab and starting to look pretty good. That was wonderful, that, from Evans. Cardle tries again with the body shot, but suddenly it's Cardle who looks a bit at sea, a bit befuddled, as if to say, I had this sort of under control, but it's just slipping a bit. And it is.
Yeah.
The right hand from Evans.
Another good shot. I'd be interested to hear what Joe Gallagher has to say at the end of this session, because it's not a good one for Cardle.
Bit of the alley shuffle as well. He's enjoying this now, Craig Evans. Cardle just wades in, just trying to bulldoze through, bludgeon away at Evans, but it's sensible, this, from the Welshman. And it's good boxing. He's picking up these rounds, and this is getting closer and closer. Maybe one or two of the judges would have Evans ahead, you don't know.
Well, it's certainly getting closer. Evans boxing very well indeed in this session. Even if Cardle's getting close and look to land one, Evans has come out the better.
Get the towel, wipe him down.
Let's listen in.
Round is
Yeah.
round is body. Big breath, John, big breath. All right, listen, he's got 2 cuts. All right, you've got 1 cut. His cuts are worse than yours. All right, just go in there and carry on doing what you're doing. They're trying to jab the eye, and it's not happening. All right, you look in the middle of that ring and keep pushing him back. All right, you go to the hooks, right hands when he spins off his chin up. That's the second phase we've done.
There's that good jab. Come back with one, Cardle, but it wasn't as good. And there, a lovely right hand from Craig Evans, who's looking really good and bringing this fight closer on my card. Not a great deal in it now, but he's looking the stronger towards the end of the fight. The fitness maybe with Evans.
I'm just looking around me at ringside. 1 or 2 have got it level. 1 or 2 slightly to Cardle. Just caught Paulie Malignaggi's eye. He said, this guy's coming right back into it. Craig Evans, and he is. 9 minutes to go, up for grabs, this British lightweight title, and you have Cardle just in front. But it is Evans that down the stretch looks the better man here.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised Cardle's stepped off a bit, allowed Evans to have a bit too much room, and he's loving that.
Yeah, we thought maybe this would be Cardle territory with a natural weight advantage, but often if you're a super featherweight fighting at lightweight or something like that, remember Manny Pacquiao coming up through the weights, and you feel natural and you feel good, and he'll be so strong and fit, Evans. But Cardle closing it down in a right hand just there as Michael Alexander was splitting them, and he's telling him off for that.
Yeah, but he's saying one more and a point off. Yeah, he's got to keep control of this, Michael Alexander. Good referee.
Yeah, it's been tough at times because stylistically they haven't always gelled, and we know how much fire they brought into this match. I think it's one of these fights, Glenn, that when they look back at it at the DVD in a couple of days, both fighters will believe that they could have done better.
I'm sure they will, but Evans, he's doing the best at the moment. Getting his jab off, starting to get through a few more shots, looking a little bit wild, Cardle, as he loads up.
Yeah, left hand again from Evans. The scoring shots are coming from the Welshman. He's turned this around. Maybe inspired by his granddad, who's 87, Selwyn, and who was the Welsh champion back in the 1950s. Still goes ballroom dancing at 87. And he'll be very proud of what Craig's been doing, especially in the last 2 or 3 rounds. Cardle back with a right. He's not done yet, though.
No, single shots, though. Then he's missing with punches.
Better from Cardle with the uppercut. Anthony Cruller clapping. Cardle's down as well. It's one of these fights that I think if we go to the final bell, both guys are going to think they've got it. The camps are going to argue because it is so subjective.
Yeah, it is tough one to score. Good first half of the round for Evans. Cardle's come back into it.
Right hand to the body now from Cardle, who's just slowed Evans down. Nice right hand. Is he pipping this as blood comes from the right eye this time of Evans?
Yeah, it's a tough one to call this round. Both had success. Evans at the beginning, Cardle at the second half.
Hope they're paying the Cutsman well tonight, because we've already had quite a few in 2 fights.
We certainly have, but it's that sort of fight, isn't it? They're really working hard.
Let's get back to Ed and Paulie for their thoughts.
Well, the pace has slowed in the second half of the fight. Is that suiting Evans?
Yeah, it definitely suits Evans, because he's the kind of guy that wants to take his time and pick Cardle apart. And while we talked about earlier the tenacity of Evans and of Cardle and the fact that he was fighting like he wanted it more, of late, these last couple of rounds, he's not being first. And when you're not first, you're allowing Evans to pick you off with his jab. Earlier, Evans would jab, he would miss, and Cardle would jump right back in and you know, put him out of position and just be rough, be physical, basically showing I want this more than you. Anything he could do to disrupt Evans' rhythm. At this point, it's Evans being first. A lot of the time, Cardle has to at least throw something back. You know, you're allowing him to be first. You're allowing him to find his rhythm on his jab. Whether he misses or not, you got to make him pay. Otherwise, he's just going to keep throwing, and he's going to find his rhythm.
Thank you, Paulie.
The punch on the break. And they're being just told to clean it up by Michael Alexander. It's probably a bit late for that. 6 minutes to go of what's been a very watchable and fascinating fight for the prestigious British 9 stone 9 belt. The all black trunks of Scotty Cardle, who had that nasty cut by the left eye, which Mick Williamson has done very well on, and the Welsh corner have sorted out Craig Evans as well. Not been an easy one to score, and the 3 judges haven't taken their eyes off it. It'll be fascinating to actually get inside their heads or their scorebooks and
exactly what they're making of it.
What they're
success. Points landed and punches landed.
And different sides of the ring as well, maybe different interpretations.
Yeah, credit to Michael Alexander for keeping a hold of this difficult fight to handle. I think it helps he's an ex-fighter. They listen to him a bit more.
Jab, Craig. Don't wait.
Don't wait, Craig, they're saying.
That's right, they're forwards.
Right hand of Cardle.
Let him go, Craig. Jab, Craig.
Did he give the last round away slightly, Evans, when the momentum was with him? Or that cost him? Well, the fact he's away from home cost him. Left hand from Evans. Cardle, of course, from up north, but with a big Matchroom stable behind him. Shouldn't influence anything, but you never know what the judges are seeing. That's what's key.
It's really crucial for Evans to keep throwing a quantity of punches. At times he goes very quiet, doesn't he? Relies on a jab and looking to counter with a quick punch.
Blood trickling from the right eye of Evans, the left eye of Cardle, the nose from Cardle. Combination from Evans. Single shots possibly harder from Cardle. And both into uncharted territory as well. Past 10 rounds for the first time, but neither's going to flag now. Stamina, well, it won't be tested tonight because they've whipped themselves into shape. Consummate professionals. I'm sure there will be respect at the final bell. But messy again. Just hasn't gelled, has it?
No, it's the southpaw and orthodox, two skilled fighters as well, who nullifying each other's work at times. There's been good defensive work, bad defensive work.
The judges have got to pick the bones out of this. It's a tough one. That cut looks even worse now for Evans, the right eye. Who do you pick there?
No, very, very difficult, but for me, Evans just a little cleaner with his shots.
I've been brutally honest, I don't know how I'm seeing this, all right? Can be level, you can be one up, he can be
Joe
one up.
Gallagher saying he doesn't know how the judges will see it. You could be up. You know, he's telling the truth here because there's very little between them in punches landed. Evans has thrown more. Cardle probably had the better of the first half overall, and Evans majority of the second half. But they could have it three different ways, the judges.
They could, yeah, I've got it still the same way, Cardle ahead, but just by one, there really is very little in this.
I've got Cardle ahead by one by a totally different methodology from you. I actually scored the last one level. It's one of those, isn't it?
It is. It's that sort of fight. You know, what we're seeing is good work from both fighters, though. For me, Cardle just fractionally done a bit more.
And they do embrace. Good to see. Michael Alexander wants 3 minutes of clean action. Why not? Could it come down to this? Could we be heading for a draw? Will we have a new British lightweight champion? And now they will throw the leather. Who can do more in the final session here? Cardle waiting, Evans waiting. Who'll be feeling more tired?
Oh, I think they'll both be. They're in uncharted waters, aren't they? They haven't been here before. They're both feeling it, I think. But I think the adrenaline, they'll not be thinking about that. They'll be thinking about who's won this fight, who's going to win this round. I don't think they'll know. I don't think either one of them will feel superior or feel more confident.
Good shot there. Joe Gallagher claps his hands, but Tony Borg did at the same time because he thought his man landed. Pick what you like, really. And I wonder if either of them will lose their unbeaten record, or could we be heading for a draw? Left hand from Cardle.
More success from Cardle here. He's landing with the cleaner punches. Evans tries to get some shots off. He's missed though.
Craig Evans had those 2-3 good rounds, about 2/3 of the way through. But is Cardle just nicking the last couple of sessions? We were fascinated in Boston last week with James DeGale and Andre Durrell. We didn't quite know how that was going to go because in a different way, one was way up after 3 rounds and then the other one came back at him and razor tight.
Well, this one's been tight all the way through, hasn't it? Round after round. They've really put lots of work in each one, and neither round, none of the rounds have been clear. For me, the little difference is Cardle at the beginning of the fight, at the end of the fight, looks like he's wanted it that bit more.
So you think he maybe deserves it?
Yeah, I do. I think judging by this round as well, I'll just give him, you know, he's winning this on my court. I'll put him 2 points up, and I just think he's worked a bit harder. He's looked a bit stronger. He's thrown more punches.
Yep, I think Craig Evans has had his moments, no doubt about that, but I think if he loses this, he will be kicking himself. And Scotty Cardle is finishing strongly. Will that make a difference? That extra strength, experience.
Well, neither one is the beaten man here. Whoever gets the decision, neither one can take anything bad away from it. Good fight.
They hug. Both can come on from that performance. They will have learnt in there, and they will learn more in their continued education. Craig Evans believes that he has won it. His arms are aloft. We know the body language and what Joe Gallagher said. He wasn't sure. He's actually hugging Tony Borg. I don't think they know. I think they're thinking, we've just got to wait for this. because we're not sure. The success is minimal between them, and it wouldn't surprise me either way. But I'm with you, Glenn. I agree that Scotty Cardle just wins the British title tonight. But will the three judges? It's all about them.
Yeah, he just looked like he had a little bit more, and you know, he's had more fights. I think that was for me, that was shown. I think Craig Evans, if he has lost this, will come again. Very, very good fighter and can take credit from this. Same with Cardle. You know, this has been a really good fight.
Promoter Eddie Hearn is talking to Scotty's father, and they look concerned.
Now, it always didn't gel. Some good punches there, and a lot of people might have thought they were holding a bit too much, but you know, if you know the game, you'll have seen the good work that they did, and you know that these are two exceptional amateurs. Going to be good pros.
Paulie, what are your thoughts? Cardle got it?
Yeah, Paulie, how did you score it?
I wasn't scoring the fight exactly, but there's a lot of close rounds towards the middle, a couple of close rounds towards the middle. It seems like a tale of two fights where in the beginning Cardle pushed the action and it seemed like he was going to be able to dominate early, but Evans seemed to make an adjustment. You know, one thing I changed about Cardle, when he got cut, it almost like it took away his enthusiasm. He wasn't getting
It unsettled him.
Yeah, it unsettled him a little bit. He wasn't getting off first. He was allowing Evans to get off first. Evans added a right hook to his combinations. At the beginning, he was throwing more so 1-2s. He added the right hook to his combinations. That did two things. One, it worked on the cut. Two, it also forced Cardle to make an extra slip every time Evans threw a combination. So it was a good fight, good tactical fight. It's very close.
Well, let's get the decision from the referee, Michael Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear fight fans, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. All of our three judges, Howard Foster, Stephen Gray, and Dave Paris, had it 116 to 112. Ladies and gentlemen, the new British lightweight champion, Scott Cardle.
Scotty Cardle does win it, and all three judges had it exactly the same. I'm really surprised about that. I'm not surprised that Cardle won it.
No, I think the judges saw it the right way. Just the fact that the better work, the more compact work, the person that was putting on the pressure was, for me, Cardle. He had his good moments, Evans, and I think maybe this fight was just a little too soon for him. He'll come again, though. Very good talent.
More consistent throughout, and maybe just knew that bit more, and I think Craig Evans will be disappointed because he showed in bursts what a quality operator he could be. It was a messy, scrappy affair, but it's Scotty Cardle who becomes the British lightweight champion, and he remains undefeated. It's a great night for Cardle. Joe Gallagher was shaking his head. I think he's seen Scotty Cardle box a lot better, and I'm sure Tony Borg has seen Craig Evans box a lot better. A strange one, let's hope, and I'm sure there will be plenty of respect and no needle now between this pair.
Well, Scotty, first of all, new British champion, how does that sound?
Sounds nice. I've been dreaming of this moment since I was a 7-year-old kid. My old coach, Aaron Metcalf, God rest his soul, and Frank Ellis have been working towards this, and obviously Joe's worked towards it for the last 3 years as well. I'm just made up, I'm overwhelmed.
We had it close. How did you score it in your mind?
I had it very close as well. I thought it was all down to the last round, really. This guy's one tough man. I expected a tough test, but he came with even more than that. He can take a dig, and he can give one even more. So I appreciate it. Appreciate the fight and respect to you.
It was bad blood beforehand, obviously respect now. Craig, you put your arms aloft at the end. Did you think you nicked it?
I thought I had it, but it was a close fight. I ain't gonna argue about he had it. Like, I thought it could have went either way. It was a close fight. I give respect to him, like, bit of bad blood, but we all respect each other at the end, like, and he's a well fighter, and I rate him loads, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity, to be honest with, from Eddie and coming on the show, and I come again. It's not the end of Craig Evans, so onwards and upwards, like, so.
I'm sure you'll both learn from the experience of going beyond 10 rounds for the first time, but it seemed almost a fight of two halves. You dominated early, but then perhaps when the pace slowed down, Craig seemed to take over a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think it was more to me slowing down. I think Craig knew what he had, and he stepped up. He had much more in the tank, and he gave a good fight, and that's what we both gave. We gave a great fight.
It's a great division in Britain. How do you feel having that Lonsdale belt and being right in the mix now?
I feel like I'm in the mix. Yeah, obviously there's world titles coming out our ear holes at the moment in the British scene, so I'd like to. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to speed things up and jump to conclusions or anything, but I want to be in the mix, and I want to mix it with the best. So that means that, and obviously I'm a Celtic man, so we finally got the treble as well.
Well done tonight.
You know what? A good mixed both fighters never had been 12 rounds before. At times it mixed well, at times it didn't. Enjoy the scrap.
It was a really, really good scrap. Really good to watch. It was messy, scrappy, but still good to watch because the right man won. The clean punches came through from Cardle there. You know, he was getting his shots off a little bit more frequently, and like Glenn said in the commentary, he was pushing the fight towards the end and looking like he wanted to win, and that is what made the difference at the end there.
Paul, you're very familiar with Scotty Cardle.
Yeah.
You know the ins and outs of him, but the tactics right for him. It did hit and move at times.
Scott's got exceptionally good head movements. He always has had, and he has my heart in my mouth when I watch him fight, as a friend and as someone watching boxing. But he's that good at it, and that's how he fights. Your Jim was the same, you know. But tonight, I hate giving him the praise because he gets it right too often. But Joe Gallagher said to me about 7 weeks ago in the gym, this fight will be won down the stretch. Last 2 or 3 rounds is where the fight will be won. And I felt Cardle was the fresher, the stronger, and put his foot on the gas and wanted it more in the last few rounds. They're not called the championship rounds for nothing. I felt him done the damage in those rounds.
Carl, do you think punch power would have made a massive difference? Because neither fighter are big punchers.
Neither of the fighters have got a big punch. No, you look at the knockout ratio. I mean, there's probably 6 knockouts between them over 25-30 fights. So they're not going to stop each other. You knew that fight was probably going to go the distance unless somebody really pounded on the pressure. And it would have made a massive difference because although a lot of shots were thrown and not many were landed, the ones that did landed flush and landed clean. There were some hurtful shots in there. So if either of them was carrying any power, there could have been a couple of knockdowns like we saw in the previous contest. But, you know, that was just a hard-fought contest between 2 fighters who both wanted to win it. And it was close, it could have gone either way, but the right man won.
Paul, looking at the domestic rankings, would you agree with that? He's just become British champion, Cardle.
Yeah.
Look who's above him. Luke Campbell, Terry Flanagan.
It's a good 6 above him, isn't it? You know, it's a brilliant division. It's top quality. You know, all 10 there are good fights. But Scott Cardle, new British champion. There's Gary Buckland, first defence. There's Martin Getton, second defence. Pick your ones out of them before you make your move on.
You'd go down before you go up if you were Scotty Cardle.